Hello everyone, welcome once again to round number 6 of the Chess Olympiad in Chennai. And one of the highlights of this round is Team Armenia's perfect run, winning over the young Indian team. Here 2.5 against 1.5. Two critical wins. One Sahakyan against Adiban and the other one is Ovaneshan against Sadwani. Armenia spoiled Gukesh individual run himself, as they stayed perfect as a team. Okay, the Armenian team, they're not too flashy, but they're very technical. A solid team. And by the way, they're playing without Aronian for the first time. The last time I played in the Olympiad was in 2012. I lost one game. It was against Gabriel Sargisyan of Armenia, and now he's playing board number 1. That was also the last Olympiad that Wesley played for the Philippines in Turkey, 2012. Okay, but that's part of history now. Let's check out this game. Adiban, the beast from India, started with d4, knight f6, Sahakyan. I was expecting Adiban to play the way he played with maybe b3, c4. He's not playing well when he goes for main lines. He plays when he goes for these crazy lines, like how Rapport plays or how Jubaba plays. He's a creative player, but with all these main lines, I think it's affecting the way he plays, especially his creativity. So knight c3, bishop b4. We have the names of Indian. e3 for Adiban, castles. Bishop d3, d5. Takes. Knight e2, rook e8. Bishop d2, bishop f8. Rook into c1, b6. From Nimzo, now it's more like Queen's Indian with the pawn on b6. Castles, c5. Knight into f4, bishop b7. Queen f3, a6. And the first new move of the game, novelty by Adiban. Takes on c5. Okay, these are two hanging pawns for black. Okay, when you have hanging pawns, okay, when white plays, the plan for white here to exchange minor pieces and attack the hanging pawns. And for black, you have to play dynamic. Okay, rook fd1, two rooks, so it's semi-open files here, c and d. Also keeping an eye on those two pawns, d5 and c5. Knight bd7. Okay, completing his development. Queen h3. I don't like this queen h3 move by Adiban. Okay, the plan is the trick. The trick is just knight takes d5, for example. Okay, let's just say rook c8. Okay, what's the plan behind it? Okay, this is it. Knight takes d5. If you go takes on d5, knight takes d5. Of course, if knight takes d5, then queen takes a7. But it's easy to defend for black here. Black played knight e5, queen, bishop, and knight. Right on the d5 pawn. Bishop went back to b1. Knight g6. Okay. Interposing, blocking the attack on the light square diagonal b1 to h7. Knight ce2. Okay, white reinforces the knight on f4. White reinforces the knight on f4. Queen b6. Pressure on b2. Bishop into c3. No problem, rook a8. Not only is the queen attacking b2, but it's also protecting the important knight on f6. Queen f5. Bishop c8. This is very uncharacteristic of Adiban moving back to c2, right? Normally, an original player or an aggressive player like Adiban, Rapport, or Jubava always go forward. But this queen h3, queen f5, queen c2 is playing without a plan. Yeah. Now d4, nice move by white and by black, and probably white has missed this one. After e takes d4, knight takes f4. Okay, if takes on c5, we have, of course, knight takes e2 check. So you really don't have that time to take on f6 and the h7 pawn. So knight takes f4, c takes d4. Okay, the queen on d6 and the rook on d8, protecting that important d4 that becomes a central pass pawn. Bishop into d2, bishop g4. Bishop develops, attacking the rook. You cannot push f3, discovered attack on the queen. Check on the king here. So only move rook e1, rook c8. Another tempo, another threat on the queen. Queen d3, rook takes c1. Takes c1, one down. Now, if Adiban wants to keep his pawn with queen b3, rook takes c1, rook takes c1, black will still take that queen, right? And go for, okay, maybe bishop d7 and try to go for rook to b8 here. Double pawn, pass pawn. But maybe white should have played this one because this looks equal, yeah, compared to what happened in the game, keeping the queens on the board. Well, I don't see. Okay, because that's Adibani. An aggressive player again wants to keep more pieces on the board. He wants to go for attack. Rook takes e1, rook takes e1, queen takes b2, one pawn down. Queen on c2, bishop a3, takes. Too late for white to exchange the queen. You already lost the pawn. Yeah. Rook e1, of course, simplify. When you're up a pawn, one pawn again is enough to win the game. Takes on e1, bishop d7. As I've said, the Armenian team, they're very technical. Yeah. You give them a slight advantage, they will go for it. Yeah. It's the Russian school of chess. In Armenia, chess is part of their curriculum. So they're studying chess as early as elementary. Yeah. So bishop into d3, g5. Eating the knight on f4. Knight has no better square because the knight on f6 keeps an eye on d5. Knight goes back to h3, another bad square for the knight. Knight e2 gives white some resistance, but still here black will play bishop e5. But knight h3, bishop c3, pretty good move. King into f1. Now if white takes on c3, now you take the pawn on g5, yes, bishop a4, pawn is unstoppable, and you have to give up your bishop for that pawn. So king f1 was played, takes on h3, right? Simplification. Black has 5, white has 4, and now pawn islands as well. You can pick it up later. a5. Put your pawns opposite to the color of the opponent's bishop. King e2, knight to d7. King f3, knight c5, not allowing the king to go to that d4 pawn. Bishop goes to c2, king g7. Okay, black's king now helps. King g4, pass pawn must be pushed. Bishop d1, knight e4, and finally Adiban gave up. This is just too much. All right, knight takes f2 is coming, and also knight c3. If you protect that pawn on f2, knight c3, a2 is hanging, d2 is coming, and it's game over because the king also cannot step on the e2 square, so that knight on c3. That was a pretty good technical win from Sahakyan. winning a pawn, stopping Black White's attack earlier. The attack on h7 with good defense and winning a pawn with central pass pawn, exchanging all the minor pieces and the major pieces, leaving a strong knight against a bad bishop in the end. One pawn up plus an active knight against a passive bishop. That's more than enough to win the game and also the match. Armenia remains perfect with 6 out of 6, even without Aronian, who's now playing for the US. And the matchup on Friday after the rest day is going to be mouth-watering between the US and Armenia. Aronian playing for the US against his former team. Wow, who will come out on top? We will see on Friday as we continue our coverage of the Chess Olympiad in Chennai. Thank you guys for watching and thank you for supporting our channel, Charles Max Chess and Charles Max Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone.